Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Black Accountant. It's your boy Mo, and if you haven't already done so, you know the drill. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments of any kind of content you want to see going forward. But most importantly, don't forget to turn on notification bells so you get notified when I drop new videos. So today, you see a little bit of a different background. I'm actually back in California for a little bit, and I was staying with one of my friends. So I'm just kind of recording from over here. Maybe I might post it afterwards, so it might seem a little bit odd or strange, but it is what it is. So in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about what it means to be real. And this is a term you hear so often when people say like just be real, or I'm real, or I'm the realist, or something along those lines. And my first thought is always like, then who's fake? What does it mean to be fake? And I think that's kind of like a video I want to talk about for a minute. And I think when we talk about being real, it means being fully and authentically yourself, or at least in my opinion, that's the definition of being real. And being authentically yourself doesn't mean that you don't change anything about yourself. It doesn't mean that you have the same delivery all the time. I think it just means that you're fully comfortable in who you are as an individual, being comfortable in your skin, being comfortable in your presentation, being comfortable in your ideology and who you are as a full-on individual. And I think that also conflates somewhat with being authentically or fully a man, or being authentically and fully a woman, is being comfortable in those aspects of yourself and being able to step into a room and not let the room or the peers or the people that you're around influence who you are, but you are who you are in every space that you enter. So for example, for me as a Muslim individual or a Muslim man, I'm very comfortable in who I am, religiously speaking. And that doesn't mean I'm the most religious. It doesn't mean I'm particularly like the best Muslim or something along those lines, but I'm okay with that. I recognize that I don't represent every single Muslim. I only represent myself. So if I'm stepping into a room of like super religious Muslims, I'm comfortable in the fact that I'm not quite there yet. So even if other people have something to say about it or have an opinion on it, it's not going to change anything about that. You might hear some comments here and there, you might whatever, but I'm not going to try to change I'm sorry, that's the wrong phrasing there. I'm not going to try to appease them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when you're very uncomfortable or you feel like you should be a type of way, whenever you enter these arenas or these situations, you try to like play up an aspect of yourself or fake it. Like, I'm not going to try to make myself seem like I'm the best Muslim out there and like, I've been praying 5 times a day, I've been doing this and that, when I know I haven't. You see, and I think that's the difference there of being real or being genuine. You're not playing a part. You are just you in every room, in every situation. And sometimes that's a little bit negative or like leads to some consequences, but I think the consequences that you land there are oftentimes better than creating a persona and following that persona, because at some point you're going to get exhausted from playing that part and your guard gets dropped down and you burn out. You're not able to play that character anymore, and then you sometimes end up having an identity crisis, or at least that's what I've seen. And a lot of times I talk about these topics because they're pertinent to me. It's things that I've seen happen with myself, things I've seen happen with others. So there's that. And I think another aspect of being real that a lot of people don't seem to get is that people operate in different ways from you. So what I may determine as being real may be very different from what somebody else might see. And I guess like an example of that is I'm a very direct individual. So if I have a problem with somebody or I have something to say, I will say it. But I think there's different types of being direct. Like, my type of direct is a little bit more cushioned, where it's like, hey, it takes time and place. Here's the context into which I'm talking about. And here's the way that I'm going to adapt my message or my direct message with you as an individual. Versus some other people think that if I just say what's on my mind with no filter, that's me being real. And it could be you being real, but at the same time, it's it doesn't take away anything from your authenticity to message things a little bit better. And that's a trap that I fell into. And it was something along the lines of when I was doing my podcast, and I'm still am, and I'm working on it, I got this really great piece of criticism from somebody, and they told me authenticity doesn't mean unpolished. You know, a lot of times you think like, if I just give you raw and unfiltered or whatever, this is just like, you know, this is me being genuine. But you can be genuine and be polished in the way that you present yourself, in the way that you come back, in the way that you talk to people, and always recognizing there's a time and place. So if I need to call out somebody, I might stop and think, hey, do I need to call them out in this group setting? Or is this something I can call them out on later in a one-on-one? Is this something I need to say now? If I say this, how is this person going to react to it? If I say this, what are the actual potential consequences of that? And does it need to be said? You know, sometimes you might have opinions. Some opinions you can really just keep to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might have a comment on the way that somebody is doing something. I may not agree with the way that they're doing that thing, but at the end of the day, is that something that needs to be called out in this setting? Does this affect other people? Is this something that will benefit from my opinion? It is my opinion worth giving right now. And is it something I can stand behind? Like, we need to think before we speak a lot of the times, if not all the time. So it's just a message I wanted to kind of put out there. And it's something that I feel like we need to be cognizant of consistently. And it presents itself in different ways throughout life. You know, this may seem a little bit abstract or just very general, but I think it comes out in a lot of different aspects. And I think one of the ones in which I can really speak to as well is diversity, right? Well, actually, you know what? That's a story for another time. So although this can be applied in many different ways, it's still, I'm keeping it kind of general because I like to incorporate a lot of these aspects that I talk about in different videos that I do, and I don't want it to be very redundant. So that's why I kind of just keep it light, keep it a little bit lighthearted. But that's all I had for today's video. Let me know what your thoughts are on the topic, and I'll see you guys in the next video.